Okay, Claudius, if it's not a monopoly, what exactly would you call it?
Yes. Wouldn't you say you've got enough power already?
Everyone, please. For one, this is a celebratory event marking a new age of prosperity for mankind alongside the Shaden people. And as for having enough power, well, we're all businessmen. I don't think anyone present subscribes to the philosophy of ever having enough power.
Falco, you're a menace.
It's my livelihood.
Okay, I'm sitting here talking to Jesse Tessier, the voice of both Claudius Falcor and the Nephilim of both Spirit Blade and Spirit Blade 3. Thank you for humoring me, Jesse, and sitting
my
down
pleasure.
for this interview. Okay, so just a little bit of background. What do you do for a living?
Well, I have a very exciting career as a engineer doing digital design.
Like half the people in Mesa.
Yeah, like a lot of people around here. Actually, it's digital design for nuclear reactor safety systems. And usually at that time I say, don't blame me.
So you're like Homer Simpson. You're like Homer Simpson.
Yes, sleep at the button, man.
What do you remember about how you became involved in the original Spirit Blade? When I say original, I mean like I guess because we did the live show first at Red Mountain Community Church. So what do you remember about getting that? How you got that role or how that came about? My memory is a little fuzzy too, but maybe you can help.
Well, my recollection was a very creative guy named Peter Franson said, "Would you like to get on board with this project?" And I was more than happy to do it because I love doing this stuff.
Okay, so you say that you like this kind of stuff, but I mean this is really kind of whacked out and weird. I mean, what kind of productions, musicals, stuff like that have you typically been involved in over the years?
Oh, I've done primarily musical theater. So I've done stuff like Hello Dolly and couple of rounds of Fiddler on the Roof. And what's the one with the gamblers?
Guys and Dolls?
Guys and Dolls was in a production of Guys and Dolls.
Okay,
and
so see, that's my point. I mean, like, these are like classic musicals. You could maybe make an argument that Fiddler is a little bit more serious, but like, we at our church did Music Man, Hello Dolly, and those are two like really cheeky, smiley, like
cheeky,
happy.
smiley,
I mean,
all day
that's
long.
like those classic musicals
all day long.
I mean, so this is so doing something like the first Spirit Blade, where you're getting like you're stabbed, you're like sucking swords into your flesh, and you're gutting other people and stuff like that.
That didn't come up a whole lot in Hello Dolly.
Yeah, no. So when you think about like the kind of characters you've played in the past, what makes Claudius and the Nephilim, or Nephi as we call him, what makes them different from the other characters you've played?
Well, the others were nicer. If we want to make a gross generalization here. Yeah. It's not very often that you get a chance to play really bad guys.
Oh yeah. Well, especially if you're doing mostly music theater.
Yeah, musical theater, it's like even if you're a bad guy, you have to turn out to be a good guy by the end. So he's evil.
Yeah.
And he's also very powerful. And
which one? Are we talking about Claudius?
Well, Claudius is my take on these two characters is, Claudius has power, but he's constantly projecting his power so that he makes sure his subordinates realize that he's in control.
Yeah.
Now, Nephi, he doesn't care because he knows he's powerful.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I always enjoyed Nephi for that. Because he enjoys hurting things and has nothing to fear.
Yeah, he's probably been doing it for thousands of years.
Go figure.
He's gotten used to the demon hierarchy, just kind of nipping at his heels. And I mean, like the first one, there's some demons that like are calling him Lord Nephilim, and they're just like he is like the man, the bomb among demons. So yeah, I'm sure that was a lot of fun to play. I can't remember if I had you listen to any of Mark Hamill's The Joker. That's probably a reference you wouldn't even recognize. Did you know that you know who Mark Hamill is, right? He played Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars movies.
Of course.
He also for years, did the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated series and the Justice League cartoons. He is like, for many fans, myself included, the definitive Joker. I mean, and he also has this kind of like whimsical, kind of like higher register.
I enjoy hurting things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of that, of playing characters that enjoy hurting things, did you have any reservations about playing a somewhat disturbing and evil character, or about the content of the original Spirit Blade?
No, not at all, really. I mean, if it had gone against my faith and my beliefs, my theology, I would have probably said I couldn't participate.
Yeah.
But the reality of Satan it's real.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And so the character is there. He's a real force, a real factor to be dealt with in life as well as in literature.
Yeah.
And so he's he's powerful in his own right.
Yeah.
And he's also there as the force without which the story has no place to take its heroes.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it's you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, one of the things I've often said, somewhat, I don't want to say in defense necessarily, but I guess in response to any potential concerns over the darkness of the story, is that first off, scripturally, as long as we're not being harmed, our spiritual life isn't being harmed by the fiction we're taking in, then we're free. We have great freedom, to enjoy even dark fiction.
Yeah.
And from a literary standpoint, from a dramatic standpoint, if you want to have justice and truth and goodness shine brightly, then they will shine ever so much more brightly the darker the villainy is.
You've got to have a mirror to reflect it against.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Nephi's got that. Nephi's got that going, and Falcor in his own way.
Yeah.
They're both. They're both hurt you enjoy it kind of people.
Yeah.
And they're the reason for thoughtfulness in life. For deciding which way you're going.
Yeah, we're confronted with evil and pain and darkness in this life, and our response to that is critical. Yeah. So what kinds of shows or stories do you most enjoy? Is it the classical musical that really is that's my thing, or what kind of stories do you most enjoy being involved in?
Well, I've had wound up starting out primarily as a singer, and then segueing into acting.
Yeah, which is funny because we never had you sing in Spirit Blade. It never really was.
Yeah, can you imagine Nephi breaking into some aria?
Or Claudius,
Or Claudius.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. I'll say something I regret.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you though. But you started out as primarily singing, and then
I started out as singing and choirs and things like that, and then wound up at a church that had a theatrical basis. They did big Easter productions and
that was
Christmas
Mickey's,
productions.
That was Mickey's church before Red Mountain,
at
right?
Bethany Community Church. Yeah. And I got involved, and the more I did it, the more I liked it.
Yeah.
And can you imagine? I actually played Jesus a couple of times.
Oh.
Which is total inappropriate casting. I always thought.
No.
But
except for maybe the blue eyes.
Except, but my favorite thing out of all of that happened is I'm in the temple and I'm upset at the merchants and the selling going on, and I'm getting on a tear. And my beard's coming off.
Oh no.
So I'm figuring how do I make Jesus look appropriate holding his chin through this whole thing?
maybe he's getting contemplative and kind of leaning
contemplative
in, like that, what's the thinking man statue,
But that's the beauty of theater. You take it as it comes. You go with it. If you don't know your line, you think of another one that'll work, and
But see,
on you go.
That's what terrifies me about live theater. That's why I prefer, I think, the recorded medium, because then we're like, okay, that one didn't work out so
Yeah.
well. Let's try that again.
We'll just
and
cut
every
that.
time the audience is hearing nothing but the best takes. Which for me, I really like having that to fall back on. But
Yeah, well, I've seen some wonderful things happen. I remember a scene. I believe it was in Guys and Dolls, and the gal that played the preacher lady, the good girl,
Okay, yeah.
the goody two shoes,
Yeah.
who was out there with the gambler. She has this scene, and she's out on stage, and she's waiting for the other actor to walk on, and he doesn't show.
Oh,
And this was actually Mickey Bryce's wife playing this
it was
role.
Ellen.
And Ellen Bryce vamped for like 2 to 3 minutes,
Wow.
improvising lines,
Oh my
and
god.
carried that scene
Wowzer.
with genius.
Wow.
And you can't pay for goods like that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
And but it's also the nature of theater that things happen.
Yeah.
The scene falls on your head. You try and act like it was supposed to. And
Well,
scenery.
Randy Hessen, who plays Vincent,
Yeah.
he would agree with you. He's said to me before that sometimes, even when there aren't, mistakes involved, some of the most beautiful, unforeseen moments are possible only because of live theater. So I will definitely give it that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you, here it's been 8 years. 2004. 2004 was when we did the live show.
Yeah.
And I pulled out like these. This is for you to take home.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
that's a flyer, and this is the bulletin that I
Thank you
kept,
for
so you can
those.
take those. 8 years since you, and I think it was just that summer, so it was still 2004 when you recorded for the original
Yeah, for
Spirit
the
Blade.
first round.
8 years. So what made you decide to come back? You live 30 minutes away or something like that. You live a little ways away.
Yeah, about 30.
You're getting nothing. You're losing money in gas alone to be a part of this. What made you decide to come back to record this little bit for Claudius again?
Well, there's multiple sides to that. You're a good friend, and I would never disappoint. And on the one side,
Thank you.
But this is a great accomplishment. This work, I love being part of something like this. I'm just proud and honored to have been asked and be allowed to be involved. I love doing theater, and I take great joy in it and trying to create a character and hoping that it makes its impact on the listener and all of those things. But it's great fun to step into these characters and explore who they are and try and bring them to life. And I count it a privilege.
Oh, well, thank you. That is really, thank you. I mean, I told you this earlier when we were talking before, that I just don't take for granted anybody that gives up their time for this, and it's such, I really can't tell you without, like I said in that one email, without maybe scaring you a little bit, how excited and how cool, how excited I was and how cool I think it is to have the Claudius Falcor in Spirit Blade 3 to help wrap up the trilogy. That's a huge thing. I don't have the words to properly thank you. So thank you so much, Jesse.
You
I really
are
appreciate it.
most welcome, and the pleasure was mine. Trust me.
Incoming file transmission.
Glitch! What now?
Falcor Legacy Program activated.
Hello, Victoria. If you're seeing this, well, it means I'm dead. Probably because of the Brezing Shada somehow.
What?
But this is my little insurance policy to make sure I don't go down alone.